So let's start off by I guess having you kind of maybe introduce yourself, who you are, and maybe a quick kind of like synopsis as to what this game is and what it's about, and kind of what state it's in.
I'm a solo dev on the team. I'm working on the game by myself right now. It's kind of a New Year's resolution type thing for me to make a game and get it out. It's my first game, so I didn't really make all of the art assets in the game. Some of them are purchased, but I did do 100% of the in-engine work, so level building, lighting, programming, AI work. All of that was done by me. But it's basically it's a game that takes a lot of inspiration from like Slenderman, Amnesia, those type of games.
Mm-hmm.
Yet kind of go around. There's a story that's to be told. I'm actually going to be doing voice acting for it, which is not in the game yet, but it's got voice acting for the tape recorders. But it's basically you play as part of a paranormal investigation team. It's going out to this house that there's like a local legend about this Wendigo that is inhabiting this house, and you're kind of going out. There's a team of 6 to investigate. While you're bringing the equipment in, your team is setting the equipment up in the house, and they're supposed to meet you back at 9 o'clock at the front of the house. Nobody shows up, so the whole game is you kind of going around trying to find these tape recorders, which is giving you evidence what happened to your friends, so that you can document it to prove the legend's real. And there's a monster that's in the game, that the Wendigo, that slowly gets stronger the more items you pick up and the longer the game goes on. So the idea is to try to get it done quicker before he gets too strong. And so you have an EMF detector in game, which helps you kind of keep track of where the monster's at in relation to your location. And it's useful early on. Later on, he gains abilities which kind of defeats your EMF detector. So it gets a little bit spookier as the game goes on. But it's a fast-paced kind of game. It's designed around making the player panic, not so much be afraid. You'll get a sense of fear, and there's not really any programmed jump scares or anything in the game, but the AI has a mind of its own. So it's a little interesting, kind of an adventure through the house.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. But before we start, I guess, so what's kind of like your background in game dev? You mentioned this is your first game.
Yeah.
Have you done have you done any prototyping in the past? I mean, it's kind of crazy that you were able to put this together as kind of a first title.
Yeah. So I've been, so far I'm active duty Air Force. I've been doing that for the last 8 years. But the last 13 years or so, I've been programming. Most of it's been web programming and software development type stuff. But the last about 4 years or so, I've probably been doing game dev on and off. It's been a lot of small projects. If you guys, there's people from my stream here, they can attest to it. I have like hundreds of small projects that I've just never completed. And so this is the kind of first real full complete game that I've put together.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So so a lot of prototyping, have a lot of prototyping experience, and I imagine all that knowledge is now culminated into this.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty sweet. So I see the buttons here: jump, sprint, interact, flashlight, EMF. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. I think we're good. Oh, I'm going to bring my mouse sensitivity down just because my Zowie's got crazy high DPI.
Yeah. I usually play on like a 0.1 or 20 or 10 or 20 or whatever it is on this.
So
you'll feel it right away. So the door movement speed, when you move your mouse forward and backwards, you'll see in just a second because you have to turn around to walk inside. That door movement speed controls how fast and slow those doors will open.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Because you have to press and hold E to move your mouse forward and backwards to open the closed doors. Oh, man, the twitch delay.
Okay, so hold E to... Oh, okay. So, wait, hold on. Let me just make sure. So, I see. So, I can either go... I see. So, I probably want to go in here and say, all right, we'll make that 22. Okay, I see what that means. Because I don't want to slam the door open. That's probably a bad thing.
Well, you'll see. I'll let you experience it.
Pick up the EMF detector using the E button. Okay, cool. And that's the Q. All right. This looks like a streaming setup right here.
So that actually works. It's an actual in-game webcam system.
Oh.
So you can actually see the monsters on the webcams in the house.
Oh, snap. Okay.
But it's not super useful unless you know where those cameras are.
I'm gonna look around here. The environment looks really nice. Now,
Thanks.
you did mention that some of these assets are purchased. I imagine they're all purchased unless you're like
Yeah.
a 3D guy.
No, so I do programming all. My next title that I'm actually in the design right now for, I'm
Mhm.
going to try to model some of that.
Oh, nice.
But for this one, it was more of a New Year's resolution to get a game out. So I went and said, okay, well, let me break out a couple $100 and let's just do it.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take out my flashlight. Just hit the F button and take a look around here. Let's see. Oh, all right.
So I'll kind of help guide you to some of these tapes because we actually made a change today to make them a little bit easier to find.
Mhm.
But that's one of my biggest known issues is people having a hard time finding the tapes.
Ah, okay. Oh,
So,
interact.
oh, that's for the door probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Stream delay. I can't.
So my first goal is to get the tapes.
Yeah, that's your only goal. Once you get the 10 tapes, you'll see on your EMF detector there's a way to keep track of how many you have. You have to get out the front door. You have to run out the front door once you get them all.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you get them all.
If I get them all, I imagine I'm gonna get like maybe one, and then I'm probably gonna find a way to kill myself by accident.
I will say that I'm the only person that I know of who's beat this current build.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think you're trying to challenge me right now. That's the feeling I'm getting.
A little bit. Nothing too spooky yet going on.
The unfortunate thing for me is I'm fairly blind. Not actually, but you know what I mean. I'm just
once you find the first one, you'll kind of know what they look like. Most of the stuff is it's on like tables or ledges, or it's kind of out in the open, or maybe on the floor. Just because mainly I didn't want to hide it, right? So they're not hidden. They're like somebody placed it, like they're doing an investigation.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they're going to be kind of out.
And so I see the webcam here, little Logitech or something, just chilling. This dude's like wicked creepy. Avoid him. Old houses and creepy old toys, they don't go well together. There's a little sheet of paper there. Right, okay. Got another webcam right there. So with all these webcams around, I assume this thing is trying to get me, and I probably want to use those at some point to try to.
So you can. It kind of the main reason though there is to kind of help with the story, right? That you're here as a paranormal investigator.
Gotcha. Okay. So they were probably previously set up.
Yeah. So you were the person setting those cameras, or setting the main station up where the monitors are. Your team were setting up these cameras in the tape recorders that you're looking for. I guess one tip I can give you is to try to leave all the doors open if you can for now.
Okay.
I'm trying
to. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, these tapes that we're looking for. Are they currently all like in a static location, or are they going to be dynamically?
So there's 10 tapes total. Right now there's 25 different spawn locations in the game.
Okay. Yep.
And every time you play, they are randomly placed, and they get placed one at a time. So there's only one tape in the house right now.
Oh, okay.
So when you pick that tape up, the next one will spawn. So it kind of looks like you're in the library right now on the stream. There's only 2 spawns in there.
Yeah, I'm in the dining room. I'm like
So on the dining room, that should be on the main table if it's there, in the middle of the big table, and then over on one of the china cabinets. I didn't see it on either there, so you're probably good there.
Okay.
Another thing, once we find the first one, it'll kind of be a little bit easier to start tracking the next one. When you're going down that main hallway, you're just going down towards the back of the house. There's 2 spawns there that are commonly missed. One is inside a cardboard box, and then there's another little dresser there.
Ah, right. Okay. And so this EMF thing that we've got. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I haven't gone like under the staircase, so I'm gonna go down that way. This EMF detector, I imagine, is to try to stay alive when the thing is potentially closer to me.
Yeah. So the big thing about the EMF detector is it's kind of your in-game HUD. And it has your number of items you've picked up. It tells you kind of how close you are to the monster. You just walked past 2 spawn points on the stream.
Oh, I walked past them?
Yeah, there's
Oh, I found the
up in that
tape.
main. There you go. Okay. So the monster spawns either when you pick up your first tape or when it's 9:30 in game, which actually looks like the monster's in game right now with you.
Oh.
So the game, the whole clock idea there is that it keeps track of how long you're in the game, so that you know, because the monster does get stronger over time as well.
I think it's close to me, only because it's really loud.
Yeah, it's pretty close to you right now. Are you crouched?
I think I just died.
Oh yeah, I just saw him. He's just behind you on the stairs there.
Oh, you did see him?
I think I saw him.
All right,
He was
not
right
bad.
behind you.
I got one tape. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good start.
So he came up right behind you there. See, I don't think you actually saw him. I don't know. I can't see any of the stream. People are saying the audio's low.
Oh yeah, I just put it back up.
Okay. So this is the whole replay bug thing. You can hit replay game, and it's fine. It'll bring you back to the start. It's just you have to go open the door and go pick up the tape recorder before you can set your mouse sensitivity back down.
Ah, okay.
That's just a bug. It's
Oh,
literally
wait, the tape recorder or the EMF?
the EMF. Sorry, there's an EMF detector on the table. You have to pick up again.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you can turn your mouse sensitivity back down. It's a bug.
Oh, those are common in these
Yeah.
early stages. All right, so now this tape is now in some complete random new location.
Yes, one of the 24 other locations.
Nice. Okay. So as we're kind of going through this, what stage would you say you're at with this? Because this looks, I mean, given what you've told me, it sounds like at this point you're probably going to be just looking at refining the details, or the refining the, well, I guess refining the game so that you remove the bugs, etc. Is there other content you're looking to add at this stage? You mentioned voiceovers and stuff like that.
So the main content that's left to be added it would be the voiceovers to kind of help, because there's no real explanation right now as to why you're here, what you're looking for even. There's a lot of left, like loopholes that are left. You just saw the tape recorder in the kids' room.
Oh, did I? Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's on a bookshelf in there. I just saw it. The voice acting work is left to do, but I mean, for the most part, I want to clutter the house a little bit more. As you can see, some of the rooms are kind of empty right now, so there's a lot of little clutter that I need to put in. Some slight optimization work that needs to be done, and then yeah, I mean, the game's really close to being ready. Oh, I just saw it again.
Oh yeah, I just picked it up. Yeah, I can see how they're hidden. They're you definitely do have to take a look pretty carefully, which makes sense because as you get more freaked out, it's just gonna get even harder.
Well, we made it a little bit easier today on my stream. Before I jumped into your stream, we added a pulsing red light on the tape recorder now.
Oh.
So it helps it stand out in the environment a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
And it's
someone said the kid moved.
Yeah, so in the little kid's room, that creepy doll that's in there, just as an extra creepy effect, I've made it so that the doll is always looking at your character, and then when you leave the room, the doll, you can hear little footsteps, and the doll moves to another spot in the room.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, they're saying that you're not using your EMF detector.
It would actually be pretty interesting to, you mentioned like there's really not too much of an explanation. I imagine like an intro with, and that's him. So do I just run, I guess?
Yeah, you just run. You got to get away from him.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, he's after me.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh. Yeah, there he is. So the game is really about juking him, right? As far as like breaking line of sight with him, because he goes and investigates the last area that you were at, but after that he'll start roaming again, going back into hunt mode. So you gotta kind of your sprint is on a meter, so you gotta kind of conserve your sprint and use angles to get away from him, and that'll work well for now, but after about 3 or 4 items, it's not going to work so well anymore.
I see.
So the game is really about using audio, trying to hear where he is in relation to you, using your EMF detector, and then kind of trying to be stealthy. but once he gets certain abilities later on, it becomes much difficult. Also, another pro tip: the way that the EMF the tapes spawn is they won't spawn near where the last tape was that you just picked up.
Ah, I see. So you're more likely to see them at the opposite end.
Opposite end of the house after you pick up a tape.
And I got 2. Nice.
1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 3.
Also, I'd like to note that all of the voice acting you see in the game right now, some of the art from the game, those are coming straight from people who watch my stream on Twitch. So they actually.
Oh fuck! Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No,
the stream delay's killing me right now. I can't I'm trying to talk during the down parts, but apparently he's.
Oh, no worries. I just got another tape, and this Wendigo guy is interested in eating me or something.
Yes. So there's actually an urban legend surrounding the Wendigo, on the internet before this game ever existed. That's what the game's based upon, is the urban legend.
Ah, I see. So what's the background of what is this Wendigo for those of us who
basically what a Wendigo is it's actually a human that became under some curse, the Wendigo curse, which drives them to have cannibalistic mentalities. And the lore goes that once they've first tasted the human flesh, that they get this unsatiable, complete hunger for human flesh, and they start transforming into this monster-like creature. Mm-hmm. So the monster in the house is actually a half-transformed Wendigo. So if you actually, when you're not running from it, if you'd actually see it standing still, you can see half of it is still got a very human-esque shape to it, and then the other half is very goat-like and demon kind of oriented. So that's why he wants to get you. He's already got your friends. Sorry, I'm trying to...
No, it's okay. I'm just I keep getting close to him, and I'm just freaking out a little.
Yeah. So like I said, the game's designed around panic, right? So it's not designed to necessarily jump scare you or cause constant fear. Mm-hmm. It's mainly meant to be that feeling of being chased, that feeling of being watched or hunted is what the feeling is kind of being tried to be portrayed to the player in this game.
So how does sound and light affect the game, or does it?
You're talking about for the monster?
Yeah, in other words, if I'm just happen to be very noisy, is that going to have any effects on the monster's ability to, I guess, hunt you down? Ooh, I got 3 tapes. Look at this.
It's going to start getting fun now. So basically, right now, the monster only has vision. He doesn't have any hearing abilities. And it's kind of, I was going to add some audio to him, or ability to hear audio. Yeah. But as you'll see, as you start picking up more objects, if I start giving him the ability to hear things,
it'd be a little OP.
Yeah, it gets really out of hand really fast. The flashlight is also a common thing that I've seen with people kind of when they freak out, when they're like, oh man, he's near, and they click off their flashlight and try to crouch into the shadow. Mm-hmm. He can't see your flashlight. He's completely blind to it. And he has perfect vision in night, so the shadows don't help you.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But now that you have 3 tapes, he gains the ability of random teleport.
Oh,
so
that's not good.
Your EMF detector becomes a little less useful in this case. Random teleport just means he just picks a random spot in the house and he can teleport there every now and then. And once you start getting more objects, he's going to gain what I've dubbed smart teleport, where he will actually pick a spot within a certain distance of you and teleport there. And then eventually later on, towards the end of the game, he gains the ability to open and close doors. So one of your things you can do right now is if he's chasing you, you can quickly turn around and slam a door shut in front of him, and he'll have to run around to come get you. He'll still come investigate where you went.
Yep.
But he won't be able to open that door. But when he does get open and closed doors, he'll be able to walk through a door. It opens for him automatically, and then after he gets through the door automatically closes. So towards the end of the game, he starts trying to trap you in portions of the house. So I'm trying to figure out where your next tape is here. You're doing a good job of avoiding them.
I just heard him. Wanted to look at this real quick. Go, 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 go. I haven't checked the...
The game also tries to help you out. So every 30 minutes in-game time, it'll try to throw another recorder in there for you. You still have to find the one that you couldn't find, but it'll throw an extra one in there for you.
Oh. Oh, that's good. Up till 10, presumably.
Yes, yes. So there won't ever be more than 10. That's why I said you still have to find the one that you couldn't find. But I think the last one you picked up was in the library here. So I would check... let's see.
Oh, shit, it teleported right in front of me. And it's teleporting again. Oh, God. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're dead.
Did it get you?
God damn it, yeah.
Oh, there he was.
I got so unlucky. It had teleported to where I was running to.
Oh, Jesus. I just saw the stream delay caught up.
3 items, and I managed to survive for 10 minutes. So as you mentioned, as time goes on, it gets more difficult, and as more items you find, it gets more difficult. So
yeah. So the game, like I said, it's an early state right now, and the items are a little bit difficult to find. I'm going to move some of the spawn locations, and I'm going to add. There's a pulsing red light on them now, so that you can actually see them from a further distance. So the game's becoming a little bit easier to find items. The big things that he gains over time, and as you pick up items, I mean, they're just like movement speed increases and vision increases and that kind of stuff. So basically, by the end of the game, his sprint speed is faster than your walk speed, but it's not faster than your sprint speed. So you have to really manage your stamina at the end of the game.
You know what would be cool is having, like, I was just wondering about like how you could actually do an intro with this. I mean, on one hand, you could just black screen everything and just have something talking. You could also, if you could actually walk out here, actually interact with the little thing there whenever you want to actually get that intro going off.
There's one main reason.
Yeah.
I said there's one main reason you can't go outside, and that's because I don't have art assets for the outside of the house. So the outside of the house looks like absolute crap. So there's an illusion going on right now that I don't want you to see by not allowing you to go outside.
Okay, I know these are 3D trees, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the actual house itself.
Oh!
If you turn around and look at the house, it looks like crap.
Oh,
but the environment's all there.
Oh, I see. Okay. The environment is its actual... Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like where the fireplaces are, you can actually see inside the house from outside the house, like through the fireplace. So... some illusions going on that I don't want people to find.
So I want to open this up for an opportunity for folks from chat to ask their questions. I'm going to keep going here to show you guys, how good I could potentially. Can I beat my 3 tapes? We'll see. But go ahead and ask your questions. Do an @DosMedi in chat just so it lights up and I can read it and I'll relay the question as long as it's not like potato.
Tell them how to break it. What? Oh, I'm just reading chat here.
Oh yeah. Maybe he thinks you know where the bugs are, so they want you to.
So there was a way to glitch the monster out. So he doesn't like it when you jump on things, like not on the floor. So like going on like chairs and railings and that kind of stuff kind of actually makes the monster. He doesn't know how to get to you, so he just stops and stares at you. But I've fixed most of those now, and it was actually quite terrifying fixing that because I was like, okay, I think I got it working, but I'm not sure. So I went and jumped on the rail, which would normally bug him out, and he came sprinting straight at me and knocked me off the rail. So,
so someone's asking, why do the tapes spawn one at a time? It seems confusing for players unaware of that particular mechanic.
So the main reason they spawn one at a time is so I can kind of control the pace of the game. Because, for example, if I spawn them all right off the beginning, the monster's not in the game yet. And so technically you could walk around and find
like
all
a
the
known
paper
path.
cores.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can try to plan a route. and then quickly pick up all the items and run out of the house. So I was kind of doing it as more of a control the pace thing, so that you can only find one at any given time, and maybe you can go around and stage the doors the way you want them or something. But
Right. That makes sense.
yeah. So, but we're also talking about in my stream about changing it to maybe at the beginning of the game spawning the first 5 recorders and then spawn them one at a time after that.
Right. Okay.
Because the first 5 recorders you pick up, I don't know if you've been able to hear the voice acting with them, but they're the first 5 clips are your 5 friends being kind of stalked by the monster. So they're kind of like, man, there's something kind of weird going on, but they're not sure. And they're hearing noises and whatnot. So it's kind of their voice being recorded for that. And then the next 5 recorders you pick up after that, there's actually audio evidence of them being killed basically on tape. So you can actually hear them being attacked by the Wendigo and being dragged off and stuff. So my kind of concept was Jesus, he just popped right in front of you. I don't have sound out, so I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. But yeah, so that was kind of the concept we were tossing around with that. Sorry, I'm like not reading your chat at all.
No, it's fine. And that makes a lot of sense. So another question that is in chat was, what do you feel is the hardest thing about being a solo dev? Like, what's one of the challenges as opposed to potentially doing it in a team?
Yeah. So
this Wendigo.
I guess the biggest things are, you can't really rely on other people. I mean, streaming it kind of helps because like I can quickly get feedback from people, or people can you can get help from people when you need it. So that's one of the things that being a solo dev you don't really get. You kind of feel a little bit alone in that process, but and sometimes it's a little bit hard to motivate yourself when you don't have somebody else to be there, kind of like saying, "Hey, we need to work on this" or something.
Right. But you got that I guess that luxury, if you want to call it that, to set your priorities and know it's going to get done.
Yeah,
it's hard to find someone else, I imagine, to invest in what you're trying to do, at least with the same level of motivation.
Yeah.
Someone asked about the camera recorder, or sorry, the recorders that we saw downstairs. Yeah, that is right. You can those things do actually function. But sorry, you were saying?
I was just gonna elaborate further upon the last question with the difficulties. I mean, being that I'm investing my own money and stuff into this, it's I'm still working a full-time job with the military, and so like having to balance that with finding time to develop games, and I have a wife and daughter, so that's also what's hard about solos. The game stops when you don't work on it,
right?
And you have to kind of balance all of that. Okay, so now you got 3.
Have I looked at the cameras? Actually, let's take a look.
So the cameras was an interesting challenge in this because of the way they work and optimizing them so that when you look at the cameras, it doesn't take your frame rate down to 2. They're actually static images, and they only update when the monster moves in front of them, and you're looking at the camera.
Right, and then you just take a little snap, and then
yeah. So they work like classic cameras, like old school cameras, where they take a screenshot like every 1 second. So when the monster's walking in front of him, he actually kind of does that whole little like glitch walk kind of thing, like they would do on those old school cameras that you only get like a snapshot every 1 second or something.
One of the questions was, what engine was this made in? We know that it is Unreal Engine, the latest one, I presume.
Yeah.
To kind of like add to that question, what made you choose the Unreal Engine over, let's say, Unity?
So my big thing with the Unreal Engine is I've been working in it for a while now. I've been an Unreal Engine for years now, but the thing that I enjoy with it is this whole entire game that you're playing right now. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the engine, but this whole entire game is made 100% on their visual programming language. So there's not actually a single line of code written for this game. It's all done with their visual programming language.
And for those who aren't familiar, and in case I get it incorrect, that is the utility in game where, like, you click on an object or you create like these quote unquote scripts, and you get these little boxes, and you put the widgets together, and all the logic is kind of embedded in those. So you can say this object when E, do this animation or something. Just to
Kind of, yeah. So I mean, it's still broken down to a very low level. I mean, you still have access to assigning and setting variables and if statements and all that stuff. But they also have like function nodes, and it's basically just boxes that you connect with lines. Basically, it's like a flow chart, and that's how you kind of put it all together. So the reason I do that is because I do stream. 100% of this is developed on stream, so none of this is developed off stream. And so there's a whole devlog for it basically. And since I do it on stream, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that watching walls and walls of code, like just lines of code, is kind of boring.
Yeah.
So having flowcharts, people can have zero programming knowledge and they can understand what's going on.
Oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Right, that would be very easy to interpret just looking at it, as opposed to lines of codes and function calls being in different files. Yeah, I could. Guys, we need to take note of that. I do actually have a separate channel where I do dev stuff myself, and so I'm gonna have to make mental note of that. I don't make games though, unfortunately.
Okay.
Any thoughts about multiplayer? One can be the monster and the other searching.
So I haven't thought of that. It would be interesting to see how that would play out. Because
it would be an interesting thing to experiment with, especially if it may. I don't know how difficult it is for it to do in the Unreal Engine, but maybe might be worth seeing just experimentally to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, it would be an interesting concept to say that the progression of the player in the game is what actually increases the other player's strength. Because that's how it would work, right? You pick up a tape and then the other player gains the ability to teleport now. The other person gets stronger as the player in the game would get closer to winning.
It'd be interesting if the monster, let's say the tape is had, the monster despawns 15 seconds later, or whatever, right? Some length of time when line of sight is out, and then that monster has to actually go place the tape somewhere. And then it goes again. So it's kind of like hide and seek with an object.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even just pre-place everything.
Yeah, so the one box that they're talking about in chat there is over in the middle grand hall area where all those little walls of statues are.
Yep.
There's a cardboard box on the floor in that hallway that a tape can spawn inside of it sometimes, and that's kind of a tricky one.
Hopefully I can get away from him.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try
not under the stairs. It's back that way. Okay.
I'm gonna use the door mechanic here. Bye-bye, monster. I hope, please. Oh God, wrong way. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So the doors are a little bit confusing. Once you kind of get the hang of it, and you're kind of like pull back is to close.
And he spawned in front of me. Oh, what the fuck?
I'm waiting for it. I haven't seen it yet. Did he just pop out? Oh yeah, he's teleporting right there. Oh Jesus! Yeah. Okay.
That was great.
So the way a teleport works is that red mist that you kind of see when it comes down.
Yeah.
It spawns the red mist at where he was at and then where he's going to. So he may have been standing to your right there, and then he teleported to the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
And then since he saw you, he doesn't roar every time he sees you. It's on a cooldown. So sometimes he'll just start sprinting at you without any kind of an illusion. And that kind of plays back to the lore of the Wendigo. The Wendigos are very silent killers. It's just in here, I've added some audio cues because there is one of the things with the sound for this game is I designed this whole entire sound to have no artificial sounds in the game. So you know how horror games normally have like intense music that start playing when you get chased or something. Well, I wanted to kind of go with the theme of what's playing that intense music in a house that's like this. There's no jukebox going in the, so there's no outside artificial sounds in the game. But what we did do is we did make his footsteps a lot louder.
Ah, I see.
So
So I want to thank you so much for joining us. I did link your page into chat. Guys, I want you guys to, show them some love for joining us. It's always fun to see someone's, well, a couple things. One is it's great to see a game before release. That's always fun. And it's really appreciate you joining the stream and answering our questions and actually, showing us your I guess your newborn or soon to be born.
Hopefully, as long as it gets approved on green light, that's my biggest hurdle. Right?
Can we also can we get someone to plug his? Oh, awesome! There we go. There is also his dev stream right there, guys. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and go into go to that link, click the yes button there, throw him a follow as well. I'll probably be jumping in there at some point when you're live. It'll be enjoyable to watch. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys, for having me. I'll be in chat if you guys have any more questions or anything. Just hanging out.
We wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see this come out on release.
Awesome. Thank you. Jeez, my phone.
Hey, guys. I hope you liked that clip. If you want to see more awesome content, be sure to hit subscribe. And let me know what you think by hitting the like button or, leaving a comment down below. Catch you later.